Aliens Fireteam Elite 2 has every reason to be the best co-op shooter in recent memory, if it builds on what made the first game great, and fixes what held it back. My name is James, and welcome to Beyond 426. I'm someone who has fully completed the first Aliens Fireteam Elite, and for this video I teamed up with other players in the community to gather the best ideas, frustrations, and wishlist items we all want to see in the sequel. We're going to be diving into systems, story, xenomorphs, builds, the horror, and everything that could make Fireteam Elite 2 the Aliens game we've always hoped for. Let's get into it. Let's start with builds, and in particular multi-skill modding, because AFE 1 wanted to be a deep build crafting game. The perk grid was really great, but it always felt like it was holding back. What if mods could link across multiple skills? It would create a huge variance of builds for people to choose from. Adding tags to these mods could also help balance the game for the developers when it comes to the choices. My one big disappointment with AFE number 1 was wanting to link up mods, and then the game gave me the choice for only one skill to be linked. The next thing we'd want to see in Aliens Fireteam Elite 2 is synth modding and leveling. A lot of us play Fireteam Elite solo, whether it's for achievements, challenge runs, or because matchmaking isn't always full. So give us real control over our synth buddies. Let us level them, spec them, gear them, and mod them. This alone would make solo play viable at all difficulty levels and would help players who can't always form a full fireteam. Moving into team play and stability, it doesn't matter how good AFE 2 is if players can't stay connected. And with AFE 2, we need stable matchmaking. AFE 1 launched with really shaky matchmaking, limited crossplay, and unstable connections, especially painful on extreme and insane difficulties where a single drop would end a run. For the sequel, we need stable servers, stronger crossplay, and no more doomed lobbies waiting to be filled. The fourth thing we want to see in Aliens Fireteam Elite is active game matchmaking that lets you drop into other people's active games. I could see this limiting the active player base when I initially played AFE 1, as everyone would wait in the lobbies they were assigned to before starting, and then the game would be out of reach. It was especially frustrating for disconnects that happen often in this game, particularly in higher difficulties. A disconnect on extreme or insane, as I've said before, would be a run ender, which leads to time wasted for the players. The fifth thing we would want to see in Aliens Fireteam Elite would be more team options, 4+ players, multi-squad missions. One of the coolest moments in the first game, but also saddest, is when you're chasing the forward team in Only Way to Be Sure and you never catch them. Imagine multi-team missions, 4 or even 6 players, 2 squads splitting objectives, one team buying time while the other pushes deeper. The sixth thing we'd want to see in Aliens Fireteam Elite 2 is armor with perks. The cosmetics in Fireteam Elite were fantastic, but what if armor actually mattered? Recent novels introduce modular pop-off armor plates that resist acid. Imagine equipping different sets for tanking, stealth, or support. AFE 2 could expand the loadout system without turning into a full-blown RPG. Our seventh thing, and just a small thing but it could be fun, is minigames and trading. We spend a lot of time in the hangar, so we might as well make it fun. Card games, dice, friendly gambling with consumables or scrip, a simple, lore-friendly way to trade items between players. Nothing huge, just something to do while waiting for matchmaking. Moving into more story, lore, world-building suggestions, we go on to our 8th suggestion, which is more novel or comic tie-ins. Colonel Ship was a great addition, pulled straight from the expanded universe. AFE 2 should go even deeper. Characters like Zula Hendricks, Amanda Ripley, Alec Brand. Even deeper lore like the Dreamers or the Xenomorph Empathic Link that are in Hives. Maybe even a return of the much beloved, though that's questionable, Deacon and the Neomorph from Covenant. I personally really love these monsters, so I'd love to see them back. Fireteam Elite proved it can use the cannon, now let's see more of it. Our 9th suggestion, and I love this one, is a synth campaign. Alien has had phenomenal synthetic stories lately, and Fireteam Elite is primed for a new one. Imagine a campaign from a synth's perspective, different dialogue, different objectives, different moral conflicts. It could even double as a tutorial for the synth customization. Number 10 is better story presentation. Fireteam Elite had great lore, but most of it lived in text logs. AFE2 needs animated cutscenes between missions, NPCs moving around, a hangar with chatter, repairs, casual interactions, a world that actually feels lived in. Let us feel like we're aboard a functioning military vessel, not a museum exhibit. Our 11th ask is more Xeno variations. One of Alien's biggest strengths is evolution, and AFE2 could go wild with it. Rhino variants of Crushers, snake-like Xenos, even ape Xenos from Coldforge, and as I mentioned earlier, maybe even the Deacon or Xenomorph if licensing allows. The more unpredictable, the better. Our 12th suggestion is expanded room defense and leaning on horror. AFE1 starts terrifying, then slowly turns into a power fantasy. That's fun, but the horror is the franchise's heart. AFE2 should bring back fear by letting us maybe hole up, weld doors, patch ourselves up with limited resources, decide where to make a stand, just kind of like Dark Descent. Keeping that tension for first-time players is also crucial, so balancing is a thing to take in hand. Number 13, and to be honest, this is my favourite of the lot, is breaking the linearity. Dynamic maps, consequences, linear missions, they worked for AFE1, but for the sequel, let's shake things up, make things different. Imagine missions where objectives spawn in different orders. You choose your route. Your decisions open or close future threats. Explosions reshape the map. Choice is the key to replayability here. So, those are the biggest features we want to see in Aliens Fireteam Elite 2. If even half of these make it in, we might be looking at one of the best co-op shooters we've ever had. Let me know your wish list in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe the usual, and I'll see you on the next deployment, Marine.